It is the 7th day of January 2024, a whole week since the year began. Allow me to wish you a happy new year since this is my first bulletin of the year, and also to welcome you to Hope TV Newswatch. My name is Kennedy Kimani. Now let's go straight into it. And President William Ruto has called for cooperation among independent institutions in serving Kenyans instead of undermining one another. The head of state has said there is no need for supremacy battles and sabotage among the executive, judiciary and parliament, pointing out that such moves will derail national transformation and service delivery. Speaking on Sunday in Uasin Gishu County, President William Ruto asked leaders to work together for the benefit of all Kenyans. Here's our very own Alice Diana with the report.
President William Ruto has asked leaders to avoid unnecessary negative competition and sabotage and work together in solving problems facing the country. Speaking at Sugutek Segero Barsombe Africa Inland Church grounds in Uasin Gishu County during a church service, President Ruto urged all leaders to embrace teamwork and unity in serving Kenyans.
Jameni, tuungane, tuwache mashindano, tuwache hujuma, tuwache mabishano, tuwache kutafuta umaarufu, tupange vile tutashughulikia Wakenya wanaohitaji msaada wetu. Na vile nimesema, katiba ya Kenya inaongea mambo ya housing, inaongea mambo ya health, inaongea mambo ya kupanga ajira. Manifesto ile niliuza kwa hawa wananchi wakapiga kura 7.2 million. Iko na mambo ya housing, iko na mambo ya ajira, iko na mambo ya chakula, iko na mambo ya afya na mambo mengine.
The head of state said time had come for leaders to explore ways of addressing unemployment by supporting the implementation of the affordable housing program. He wondered why some leaders were undermining transformative programs such as affordable housing and universal health care, yet the constitution was clear about them.
Ati watu wachache waende kotini wapinge ile mpango tuko naye ya kusaidia at least hawa watu wapate ajira. Mnataka ati mimi ni nyamaze? Bana. Ndio mimi nimesema tafadhali kwa heshima kubwa. Na mimi sitaki kugombana na mtu. Na mimi sitaki vita na mtu. Na mimi nataka tuungane sisi wote. Lakini hatuwezi kuungana kuhujumu Wakenya wengine. Hatuwezi kufanya pamoja kuharibu nafasi ya Wakenya wengine. Ndio mimi nataka niwaulize viongozi wote ya kwamba tafadhali, let us not use the opportunity we have. The rest of us have jobs. We have income, we have salary. We cannot use the advantage we have, not because we are special.
Ruto also stated that plans were underway to harvest rainwater, besides building dams to store enough water for irrigation and food production. He noted that 100 billion shillings was required to build infrastructure for harvesting water and construction of dams.
Mambo mawili ni ya muhimu zaidi. Tupange ajira ya hawa vijana na tuzalishe chakula ya kutosha. Tuache kuagiza chakula bilioni 500 kila mwaka, tuzalishe chakula. Na mpango yetu is that in the next 5 years, we must reduce our food import bill from 500 billion to 250, and in 10 years, we must bring it to 0.
Members of parliament who accompanied Ruto took issue with the judiciary for undermining programs aimed at transforming the lives of Kenyans.
Your Excellency, there's a problem in this country. You know, the judiciary, for an unexplained reason, is seeking to intervene on policy making when they are supposed to interpret the law. You know, Your Excellency, you know, you promised in your manifesto, which we supported, all of us, and you said you are going to start affordable housing, social health security insurance fund, and that we voted for it and you won the election. The judiciary is expected to interpret the law. Although the two of them start with I, they are mistaken that the other one, they should not intervene on policy making. Your Excellency, what we have seen in this country is what we call judicial adventurism.
Alice Diana, Hope TV Newswatch.
Thank you so much, Alice, for that report. Now, Interior PS Dr. Raymond Omolo has announced that the national government will this month embark on reviving the abandoned Takwel State Lodge project along the scenic banks of Takwel Gorge in Kapenguria constituency, West Pokot County. The envisioned state lodge, with an estimated cost of 230 million shillings, aims to accommodate over 3,000 people during state events. This initiative seeks to revive the long-neglected project that promises to change the livelihoods of residents in Takwel and its environs.
Na tumezungumza na viongozi wa hapa na tumekubaliana juu ya mambo kadhaa. Kati ya hayo tumezungumzia jambo la kupanua hii mahali hapa Takwel yenye imesimamiwa na KVDA na KenGen ili tukue na mazingira mzuri. Kuna mini state lodge inatakikana tu rehabilitate ili wakati rais anatembelea mazuri anaweza kupata mahali pazuri pa kujadiliana na viongozi pamoja na raia wa hapa.
Wakaji wa hapa tuhakikisha kwamba tunashirikiana na wale ambao watakuja kufanya kazi hapa, na KVDA ambaye pia ni mshirika mkubwa hapa. Tunataka pia KVDA jitokeze hapa na ishirikiane na hawa kuhakikisha kwamba hapa pia inabadilika, na hawa KVDA pia iweze kuangalia pande hii sana, so that miradi mingi iweze kuja pande hii kwa ajili ya manufaa ya wananchi wa hapa. Tutauliza pia baadaye serikali iweze ku-enhance budget ya KVDA kwa sababu kazi nyingi iko pande hii. Kwanza ile low tackle irrigation ambayo iko katika proposal, rais tumemwambia, na wakati ikifika na pesa ikipatikana tutafanya pia mambo ya irrigation katika area hii kupitia KVDA.
And we as the residents of West Pokot County, particularly residents of Newswatch, we are grateful and we are happy that they've assured us that within a span of less than 12 months we will have a complete state lodge that has been built within this place called West Pokot County. And as we've always been saying, that West Pokot is a land of hidden treasure. This is a county of hidden treasure. So as the MCA of the area, I'm grateful, I'm elated, and I'm happy. I'm looking forward to this noble project.
Kwa hivyo wananchi wameanza kufeel serikali ya Kenya Kwanza ya kwamba inawafanyia kazi. Kwa hivyo tunaomba tu ushirikiano kati ya stakeholders wote, kukiwa wananchi pamoja na vitengo zote za stakeholders, ili kuhakikisha kwamba ikifika mwezi wa 12 basi maono haya ambayo ni State House itakuwa imekamilika.
Moving on, and the National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula has been re-elected as the Africa Bloc representative in the Standing Committee of the Conference of Speakers and the presiding officers of the Commonwealth. Wetangula was re-elected to the committee to serve a second term during the Africa Region geopolitical meeting held at the sidelines of the 27th CSPOC in Kampala, Uganda. Africa has 3 representatives in a CSPOC standing committee. Hence, Wetangula will represent Africa along with the Speaker of Ghana and the Speaker of the Kingdom of Eswatini. A 15-year-old girl, Nina Nganga, is spearheading a vaccination campaign within Nairobi County aimed at eliminating rabies, which is a viral disease transmitted through animal bites. Nina, a grade 10 student at Aga Khan Academy, has set an ambitious goal for her Vaccination for Poor Nation campaign, seeking to fundraise over 700,000 shillings to administer at least 1,000 vaccinations, 180 surgeries and health checkups for both cats and dogs by the end of this month. According to a recent report by the Kenya Small and Companion Animal Veterinary Association, Nairobi has the highest cases of rabies, followed by Nakuru, Kwale, Kilifi, Wajir, Narok and Isiolo. Kenya faces an alarming annual toll of 2,000 lives lost to rabies, with 40% being children.
I love pets because I grew up around dogs, and I also was a volunteer at KSPCA. It was a school project, so I decided to base it off the fact that I love animals. What sparked the idea was a school project I was doing, and I decided to base it off the love for animals. The role of Bosco is a memorable, reliable mascot, because everyone has a Bosco in their neighborhood. My school project evolved into a community campaign for dogs and cats because it solves a problem, because rabies is a big thing. People just don't pay that much attention to it. And my school project is based on something that can be a big impact. I got advice from many people, my parents, my teachers, and also Tenor Trust played a big role. I target to raise 700,000, and it'll be of use by buying the supplies and also veterinary professionals. The activities planned for the 6 to 12-year-olds are coloring books and also flyers on dog health and animal welfare to spread the awareness, because mostly children are victims of rabies. For young people, you have to do your research and talk to the right people like Tenor Trust and other organizations that can help.
Dagoretti is a hotspot for rabies. It doesn't have an outbreak because the outbreak must be analyzed and quantified by the government. It has to come from the government that there's an outbreak. But the practicing vets know that even a single case of rabies is as bad as an outbreak. Much of that money will go into buying the surgical supplies and also the vaccines and the logistics that comes with the whole campaign. The impact of the campaign, you can only measure it if you do a survey. Yeah, and a one-off campaign, you cannot achieve any impact with it. And that's why we're trying to run the campaign for a period of three years. If you vaccinate 70% of the dogs in an area over the 3 years repeatedly, then you can consider that area properly covered for a rabies outbreak or rabies infection. And if no dog tests positive within those the 70% vaccinated, you can declare that area free from rabies.
Now, still on matters held, and over 3,500 Mombasa County residents have benefited from a medical camp hosted by the M-Pesa Foundation in partnership with Zuri Health and Lions Heart First Eye Hospital at Consolata Catholic Primary School in Likoni. Some of the services offered at the camp included eye care consultations, breast and cervical cancer screening, fistula screening, general doctor consultations, diabetes screening, hypertension monitoring, and child health consultations.
We are running a family planning clinic, fistula screening, and just general health care screening. So where I have been, I've seen that most of the diseases we are dealing with in the early childhood diseases, we are looking at vaccination of children, looking at COVID vaccination for their mothers if they didn't finish their vaccines. We are looking at things like chicken pox. I've seen a case of chicken pox. Most of the children are coming with issues of congestion. In this area, TB is very, very prevalent. So we also have a separate TB screening area.
And I want to say I really appreciate. You can just see the population which has really turned up here today. And it is because people want to have health services. And I want to see that we really appreciate that today our people of Likoni can have some services, even the special services like the issue of fistula. I've seen several women today now, they are going to have a test on the fistula. There is also some tests on cancer screening, which is also being done here. We have also persons with disability. They have some problems. They're also going to have some services.
Tumeweza kupitia kila sehemu zile ambazo zilikuwa tunahitaji. Kwa upande nilikuja na magonjwa kama matatu. Gongo, macho. Macho nimepimwa. Nikaambiwa kwamba kuna utandu mpaka niende operation. Wamechukua stakabadhi zangu, wakaniambia kwamba watanipigia simu niende for further medical attendance. Ninashukuru kwa sababu kitu cha bure si kama kitu cha pesa, kwa sababu bure inasaidia upande mwingine, inatupunguzia yale mahitaji. Maana mtu unaweza kuwa uko ni mgonjwa na hauna pesa za kupeleka hospitali. Sasa wakati umepata kwamba kuna mwaliko uende ukaangaliwe afya yako, tunashukuru.
Crossing borders now, and the US Supreme Court has agreed to hear Donald Trump's appeal of a judicial decision barring the former US president from Colorado's Republican primary ballot. At issue is the Colorado Supreme Court's ruling disqualifying Trump from the state's primary ballot based on language in the US Constitution's 14th Amendment for engaging in insurrection involving the January 6, 2021 attack by his supporters on the U.S. Capitol. Trump has also appealed to a Maine state court, a decision by that state's top election official barring him from the primary ballot under the same constitutional provision at issue in Colorado. Now, Bangladesh election officials have today begun counting votes in an election that the opposition boycotted. Bangladesh Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina is expected to win a fourth straight term and the fifth overall for Awami League-led alliance in this general election, which is boycotted by the main opposition party, BNP. The BNP says the Awami League propped up dummy candidates as independents to try to make the election look credible, a claim the ruling party denies. The BNP, which also boycotted the 2014 poll but took part in 2018, called for a two-day strike nationwide from Saturday. Well, you're watching Hope TV News. It's now time for a quick break, but after the break, I'll be back with the sport in action. Stick around.
It's finally here. The breakfast show that will kickstart your morning with a message of hope, coupled up with wholesome music, and of course, captivating conversations that matter to you.
We shall touch on topics on law, relationships, the Christian walk, and in addition, we will also be keeping you up to date with news and all the trending topics.
Join me, Beatrice Watare,
and me, George Gishoro, every Monday to Friday from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. on Hope at Dawn.
Only on Hope TV, where you look
and live.
Je, ushawahi kuweka jambo kwenye mizani? Ushawahi kupata uzito wake? Haya basi, usitapetape zaidi. Naomba unigande, maana mizani ipo hapa kwa ajili yako.
Vyakula na mbegu za kitamaduni
na kutuliza fikra na kukuwezesha kupima masuala ibuka katika jamii, tena kwa busara. Tukutane mizani kila Ijumaa saa 1 machweo kwenye runinga ya Hope TV.
Yesu ndiye njia.
Mtoto gani katika hii ulimwengu ameitwa Mungu mkuu?
Nasema akasema audhu billahi.
Hata leo usisema audhu billahi, tafadhali usikize.
Yesu ndiye njia. Uchambuzi wa masuala tata katika Biblia na vitabu vingine vya kidini.
No, we don't believe that Christ was crucified. Christ was taken right to heaven by 4 angels, 4 archangels.
Kama Muhammad ndiye alikuwa wa kwanza kuleta dini ya Kiislamu na alikuja after Jesus, sasa inawezekanaje Ibrahimu awe Muislamu, Musa awe Muislamu?
Yesu ndiye njia. Jadala wa moja kwa moja kati ya walimu wa Kikristo na dini zingine.
Wanasema Mwenyezi Mungu ana mtoto. Jambo hilo wanasema limeleta jambo ambalo linachukiza.
Siri ya Mungu ambaye Mungu amejidhihirisha katika mili. Hii yote ni ukafiri.
Mmefanya makosa makubwa sana kusema kwamba Isa ibn Maryam ni Mungu wa pili na Allah ambaye ameumba mbingu na ardhi mkasema ni Mungu wa tatu.
Yesu ndiye njia. Jumamosi kuanzia saa 1:30 jioni kwenye runinga uipendayo ya Hope TV.
Welcome back. Now to some sporting action now, and Rafael Nadal has pulled out of this month's Australian Open due to a muscle tear, but says it is a different injury to the one which kept him out for a year. The 37-year-old had made his comeback this month at the Brisbane International after a year out due to a hip flexor injury that ultimately required surgery. Nadal lifted the Australian Open title in 2009 and 2022. Brazilian football legend Mario Zagallo, who won 4 World Cups as a player and coach, has died aged 92. Zagallo was a winger in the Brazil team that won back-to-back World Cups in 1958 and 1962, starting in both finals. He managed the side widely regarded as the greatest international team of all time, including Pele, Jairzinho, and Carlos Alberto to glory in 1970. Zagallo's final World Cup triumph came as Carlos Alberto Pereira's assistant coach in 1994. He returned as Brazil manager after that tournament and led them to the final in 1998, where they were beaten by host France. Zagallo was the first person to win the World Cup as both a player and a manager. Now to a story that my director Davis will be happy to watch, and Chelsea booked their place in the FA Cup fourth round as 4 second-half goals took them past Championship side Preston at Stamford Bridge. Armando Broja opened the scoring with a superb glancing header from Malo Gusto's left-wing cross just before the hour mark, and Thiago Silva was left unmarked to head home from a corner 8 minutes later. That goal in 11 minutes came when Raheem Sterling's deep-in free kick from 20 yards out beat a helpless Freddie Woodman in the Preston goal. Enzo Fernandez added a fourth from close range late on, following a check by the video assistant referee after he had initially been flagged offside. Well, currently Arsenal are playing Liverpool and Liverpool are leading 1-0. Well, with that, we come to the end of our news tonight. Many thanks to you for watching Hope TV Newswatch. On behalf of the stellar crew that made this broadcast a success, have yourselves a blessed night. My name is Kennedy Kimani.